Have you ever wondered about the mystery surrounding the imprisoned angels in the Euphrates River? Today, we will be discussing who these angels are and why they were imprisoned in the first place. Let's start with an excerpt from the Book of Enoch, chapter 12, verses 4 to 7. It reads, "This raises several questions, like what had Michael and Sariel done to deserve such punishment? The Sumerians believed that the gods had a deep connection with the Euphrates River, which flowed through the land of Shinar. The mountain range extends over 90 miles and reaches a height of 8,300 feet above sea level. In fact, the Book of Enoch contains several other stories about angels who interact with humans, such as the story of Azazel. After all, angels were seen as messengers of God, but they were also capable of disobeying him, as in the case of Lucifer, who rebelled against God and was cast out of heaven. Another explanation is that these stories were meant to teach moral lessons to humans. Some argue that the imprisonment of the angels in the Euphrates is a symbolic representation of the spiritual battle between good and evil that is happening unseen in our world. They believe that the release of these angels is not a literal event, but rather a metaphor for the intensification of the struggle between good and evil in the hearts of men. Whatever the case may be, the story of the angels imprisoned in the Euphrates continues to fascinate and intrigue people today. Their imprisonment serves as a reminder of the dangers of disobedience and the consequences of straying from the path of righteousness. For example, the story of Azazel may have been meant to warn people of the dangers of seeking knowledge and power through forbidden means, while the story of Raziel may have been meant to teach the value of wisdom and the occult, who teaches humans how to make weapons and tools, and the story of Raziel, who is said to have written a book of wisdom. These stories suggest that angels were not only messengers of God, but also had a profound influence on the development of human civilization. However, as with the story of Michael and Sariel, these angels are portrayed as having both positive and negative qualities. Azazel, for example, is described as both a fallen angel who teaches humans evil ways and a bringer of knowledge and wisdom. Similarly, Raziel is said to be a great sage and teacher, but he is also associated with the mysteries of magic and the occult. It is mentioned several times in the Old Testament and is described as a place where God has planted his garden. This description further reinforces the belief that the mountain of Hermon was considered to be a sacred place where God's presence could be felt. According to Christian eschatology, the imprisonment of the angels in the Euphrates is a significant event that will occur before the end of times. It is believed that the release of these angels will signal the beginning of the Great Tribulation period, which will be a time of great suffering and persecution for Christians. Some believe that the angels imprisoned in the Euphrates are the ones who will be released during the tribulation period. They are said to be led by a powerful demon named Abaddon or Apollyon, who will deceive and mislead people into worshiping the Antichrist. During this time, the Euphrates River is said to dry up, revealing the hidden angels, and allowing them to roam the earth and carry out their mission to deceive and corrupt humanity. The story of Michael and Sariel hiding on the mountain of Hermon suggests that they were trying to escape God's presence, perhaps because they knew that they had been caught and were awaiting punishment. It also suggests that they believed that the mountain of Hermon was a place where God's presence was strong, and that hiding there would protect them from any harm. The river was considered to be a source of life and fertility, and the gods were believed to have created it to sustain the lives of humans and other living beings. In fact, the Sumerian myth of the creation of the Euphrates River tells the story of how the god Enki created the river to water the Garden of Eden. The story goes that Enki was walking along the banks of the Tigris River when he saw that the ground was dry and barren. He then took some clay from the river and molded it into a female figure, whom he named Ninhursag. Enki then slept with her, and she became pregnant and gave birth to 2 sons, Utu and Namu. Utu and Namu then went on to create the Euphrates River, which watered the Garden of Eden and sustained life on earth. This myth shows the deep connection that the Sumerians had with the river, and their belief that it was created by the gods for the purpose of sustaining life. Why were they specifically sent to the land of Shinar? And what was the significance of the mountain of Hermon in this story? These questions lead us to the belief that there must be more to this story than meets the eye. In fact, this story is deeply rooted in the Mesopotamian culture and beliefs, particularly the ancient Sumerian texts. And it came to pass in those days that Michael and Sariel, the angel of the Lord, descended from heaven into the land of Shinar. And they were afraid and trembled, and their faces were white with fear. And they said to one another, "Woe is us, for we are greatly terrified." And they told one another all their transgressions and sins, which they had committed in heaven, how they had not kept the ancient law and the original ordinances, but had made unhallowed and unlawful marriages, and had brought forth children, and that now the Lord was saying that he would raise up his face against them. And Michael answered and said to Sariel, "Let us depart from here, and let us go about and hide ourselves from his presence in the land of Nod, on the mountain of Hermon, where it is said that the Lord planted his garden." So Michael and Sariel went and hid themselves on the mountain of Hermon. The imprisonment of the angels in the Euphrates River is one of the most fascinating mysteries in the Bible. According to the Book of Enoch, these angels were imprisoned there by God for their disobedience and their seduction of human women. But who exactly are these angels? What did they do to deserve such punishment? And how does it relate to the events that will take place at the end of times? Stay tuned till the end of this video as we uncover these secrets together. So let's dive into the depths of this intriguing topic and explore the truth behind the imprisonment of the angels in the Euphrates River. Welcome back, everyone. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so before leaving this video. This passage tells the story of how Michael and Sariel hid themselves on the mountain of Hermon after they had been frightened by the Lord because of their transgressions and sins. According to the Sumerian texts, the gods lived in the land of Shinar, which is believed to be the same region where the Garden of Eden was located. In addition to its importance in the Sumerian culture, the mountain of Hermon also holds great significance in the Bible. The story of Michael and Sariel hiding on the mountain of Hermon is just one of many accounts in ancient texts that describe the close relationship between angels and humans. One possible explanation for this duality is that ancient people viewed angels as intermediaries between the divine and the human, and therefore they saw them as having both good and evil qualities. Now let us talk about the connection between the imprisonment of the angels in the Euphrates and the events that will take place at the end of times. However, it is important to note that this interpretation is not universally accepted among Christians. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts and comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.